This is Julie.
Hey, calendar, what's my morning like?
Julie's about to have a long day.
At 9 a.m., soccer carpool. 9:10, purchase birthday card. 9:05, dry cleaning.
Did you just go backwards?
I'm sorry, I can't fit that question into your schedule. 9:15, cry for a little bit.
For days that won't end, let Schwann's help. With Schwann's, you can get delicious meals that go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. Visit today at schwanns.com.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. You'll proudly mow the lawn. Ask if anybody noticed you mowed the lawn. Tell people to stay off the lawn. Compare it to your neighbor's lawn. And complain about having to mow the lawn again. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance. Which, of course, will go right into the lawn. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
4, 3, 2, 1, Let me bring down the music here since our friend Joel's doing a little music himself. This is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from Key Largo. We're joined by Joel, Arthur, and Jack. And we'll do some introductions, but I labeled this episode, besides 152, it is time to say goodbye for the summer. Remember that song?
Yeah.
So it's time to...
See you in September.
That's a different song.
Oh,
Isn't it? Is that
Yeah.
See You in September?
I don't know the first one. I only know the second one.
I thought it's a different song.
At the Jersey Shore, it was always that. You know,
It's time to say
summer
goodbye
love is to say goodbye to your
for
summer love.
summer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So does it go into See You in September after that?
Well, I know we're leaving in September. We leave Labor Day. And
You're
Jersey
leaving?
Shore, Jersey Shore, that's when you leave.
Okay.
Now, here we're leaving. Actually, we've been asked to leave at the end of this month.
Okay.
We were supposed to stay.
By the authorities or by your...
there's a force here
lesser.
that you're not aware of.
Is it Mary?
It's very subliminal, huh?
Is it
Never
Mary?
darken our door again.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're in a condo complex in Key Largo. We're not going to mention the name, and we'd like to work on the previous episode. You've met Joel and Jack, our erstwhile psychologist and studious and hardworking dentist. Why did I say erstwhile? Because yeah.
I thought you said something about Ernest goes to camp. Maybe Ernest goes to jail. I don't know.
I heard that Arthur was. You mentioned.
I heard it as Earthwhile, and I'm like
erstwhile.
Yeah. And I had a friend named something like that. And I'm like, what?
No, he was worthwhile.
Did you
worthwhile.
do a lot of experimentation with psychedelic drugs during your career? Have you had?
I did my first trip in Bahia Honda in Key West.
Yes.
1968.
Mushrooms?
No,
LSD?
it was mescaline.
Mescaline. Okay.
Yeah. Finest day of my life.
It was?
It was the finest day of my life.
Finest day of your life?
Yeah.
And it's been
when my wife
all
is around, I
since
have
then.
to add until I met my wife. Until I wet
She's
my...
going to listen to this.
Wet your wife.
You're already in now.
Met your
now
wife.
You're going to get out.
Your beautiful wife, Gabby, right? I'll finish that. for you.
Yeah.
And it's been a joy ever
It
since.
doesn't take
You've been together how long?
It doesn't take you
Thanks,
long to get
man.
in trouble.
You're almost as slick as my friend Slick here.
Yeah.
Early on,
Pick that up, man.
I nicknamed him Slick.
Slick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was going to be late getting back to Gabby.
Uh-huh.
Of course, we ran into each other for a drink. So I let Slick, by Slick, I mean
yesterday.
Jack
You talking
over
about
here,
yesterday?
And I let him write the message to her. She answered almost immediately.
Yesterday,
she said, okay.
Is it,
and then very quickly after that, she texted. We were texting.
Yes.
And she wrote, how many margaritas have you had? You know.
She wasn't used to such eloquence and consideration. Didn't sound like you. She sniffed it right out.
I'm just not that slick.
Was this yesterday or the after a podcast the other day?
No, it's
1968.
It's all a mishmash.
No, this was weeks ago.
Okay. Well, we're going to bring in Arthur into the mix, and Joel had mentioned that he met a very You look familiar, though. I met you
before.
Yes. Key's bartender. I am a bartender. He probably came into the Catch.
I may have.
Or the Encore.
You gotta speak louder.
Oh, I need to speak louder now?
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
about
Where
that.
were you?
Yeah.
Where you're from
Or
Connecticut?
Hobos, maybe, back in the day? I don't know.
I didn't work in Hobos.
Oh, okay.
I'm only down here 12 years.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But it's good memories. I could tell right away when you meet someone that you had a bad. There's always lights that go off in the back of my head when we had a problem. But I rarely have. Luckily, that's a rarity. That's a rarity.
The lights go off in the back of your head?
Yeah, when you think, oh, my alarm sign's going, this is trouble.
That's rare for you?
Yeah.
So you're living a safe life, unexamined,
well,
on the surface.
When I say a rarity, that doesn't mean it never happens.
But rare means
I'm just
it
saying
seldom
overwhelming.
happens.
If it's 5 times out of 100,
okay, we'll give you 5%.
5%. But
Yeah.
is life always supposed to be
How
conflict?
much do you want to examine your life anyway?
Well,
Descartes.
I want to see if there's anything there.
Descartes. Is that always Descartes?
Yeah.
An unexamined life is not one worth living.
Right.
Okay, that's pretty much as deep as we want to go today, guys, with that thinking shit. Okay, but Arthur, the point was the point I wanted to make was like when you run into someone and you have a faint moment of resemblance or recall, and if it doesn't raise the alarms, you don't feel that fight or flight thing.
Yeah,
and you just relax and you go, I remember this person. He's very nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't examine your life like 24/7.
No, that's too much.
There's a time and a place
the
for
psychologist
everything.
that came up with the idea to take biofeedback and put it through a synthesizer, not to over-examine your life.
Yeah,
right?
That's really different. That's taking action.
Isn't examining your life taking action?
Only in your head.
And then you have to examine it in order to address it, just like you would if you were a dentist looking at a cavity. You have to look at, right?
Yes.
No, he's not. If he's looking at a cavity, he's examining his life.
He's examining a cavity in order to address.
He doesn't get the metaphor.
You don't get the metaphor?
He's just
no.
Give the mic to Arthur. We want to tell this conversation here.
This is good. I like it.
This is a variation on.
I love talking to smart people. I do. It raises.
You're in the wrong crowd, man.
You guys.
2 steps over.
No, you guys are bold. You're not afraid of talking, and that's what it's about. That's what we do. Okay?
Yeah.
We don't play it safe. We don't play it safe.
Right.
We make a claim, and we try to stand on it.
Let me see if I have this right. So Jack examines life by staring with his magnifying glasses into a cavity.
No, I'm examining cavities.
No, I'm using it as a metaphor.
If you were aware, you could examine your
life. In order
life.
to create the action of corrective dental surgery, right? He has to examine a tooth before he fixes it. A life has to be examined before you take action in order to take another course. Or you could just take action willy-nilly like a Viking jumping off a ship and then going into the town and raping, killing, and stealing everything.
Don't knock it.
I just went full board the other direction. I know that, but that was it. But Arthur,
get him in this.
The first thing that Joel said is that it was, if I remember correctly, you didn't say this very interesting. He's an interesting gentleman. You made him seem like he was overweight, the way you described him. In my head, I had an imagery of, if you ever remember The Simpsons, the IT guy, every time the IT guy has a beard and the ponytail.
Nerdy.
No. And the glasses. And he's always talking down to people about technology and stuff like that. I originally worked, years ago, I worked for a software company because I was totally illiterate when it comes to software, hardware, and things like that. So to address that, I spoke to my brother-in-law and asked if he could get me hired as a software salesman. But and then I found out IT guys were the greatest guys to talk to.
What about wetware?
Oh, like you suggested that we do this
in the pool.
In the pool.
Oh no,
brilliant.
Yeah, that too.
That's a brilliant. Yeah.
No.
Yes, Nikolai Tesla. Tell us your theories.
Wetware. Wetware refers to like neural networks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking. Remember when you suggested we should do
the original? Yeah, you got your hardware, software.
Your wetware
and your wetware, which is in
some of those areas up there in their head. Joel's pointing to his head, but some of those people, I think their cerebellum's a little dry and
this is probably combining two professions in a way that is a little dangerous when you got the guy who looks deeply into his life and the other guy who owns a drill that he can go.
Yes, that goes and digs it out.
Who has more power?
You put those two people together, God knows what you could do.
We mentioned,
yeah, I can do a lot of damage, and so can he.
And you can help with this, Arthur. I wanted to go and raise up the I think a lot of people view dentists as a very important.
Dentist the mentis.
No, dentistry has reached its pinnacle. I think pinnacle here in the United States. But the bad thing about it is the image that dentists have of people, and they have to deal with this, that people are so unhappy going to see them. But it's a necessary, and I'm not going to even say, I don't want to say necessary evil. It's a necessary good thing in order to prevent evil, which you can have heart disease and all these things that occur if you don't take care of yourself. So if you think and say, this guy is actually looking out for my well-being, or this person, this dentist, I should not be misogynist because women can be dentists. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I had a great female dentist do crown work for me.
This joke would only apply to male dentists.
Okay, what's the joke?
Yeah, this woman goes into the dentist's office and she sits in a chair. They're getting ready. Dentist gets just about to start, and she reaches over and she grabs him by the crotch and she says, "Now we're not going to hurt each other, are we, doctor?"
Okay, I got it.
Do you know how old that
That's
joke
what my
is?
wife said to me when we got married.
Yeah.
That happens. That works for dentists and newlyweds.
Okay, we're not.
You know what? From now, when you were,
What the fuck,
I'll just.
Jim?
What?
I lay like a really good joke on you, and you're like, okay.
It's an old joke. It's an old, tired joke.
If you had your balls squeezed as frequently as I did, you don't even think it's funny. And you know what? Hold on to the mic. I'll just go when you're ready to talk. Say, Jim, and I'll come right over.
Oh, okay.
Okay, great. No, this way.
Okay.
Okay, we're going back and forth.
Okay, we don't want to stay with professions, but I got to defend dentistry. Okay, the dentists today are very highly trained. They're very good dentists, very technically qualified, and dentistry is really at a pinnacle right now. Mm-hmm. The state of the art is very high in dentistry. The quality of work is very good. So most people don't have the fears they did when we were kids. Uh-huh. It's been addressed. There's a different type of people in the profession, mm-hmm. and it's a very noble profession. It really is, and it is a good service. But there's no reason for people to be afraid of going to the dentist anymore. That's not necessary. The job for the dentist nowadays is to overcome those phobias on people that have these childhood memories, and gradually, like I said before, win their trust, and then everything's fine.
In most instances, you're alleviating aggravating conditions, pain, suffering, things that could be worse. And we get to take to IT. Let's get to the IT guy. We're going to get back to psychologists too, because we're going to talk about your impression. Can you talk about your job at all, Arthur?
Sure.
You can. Don't put yourself in a position. You don't have to say the company do. What do you do?
I would say I'm a working technologist. I make different products for different for my company that serve different purposes for customers or broad audiences. I work in media, newspaper media.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. We're talking about something that's almost going by the way, the print, at least say, the print media. Now it's more online.
Oh, yeah.
The online aspect. Like New York Times is doing a really fantastic job, I think, doing that.
Yeah.
The digital media is I think it's great. But I guess the revenue sharing thing is different because you used to have the print.
Right. Now, I would say, 90% of what I do has to do with digital media. So, so local digital.
Local digital?
It's tied to newspapers. So we always have a print publication that's associated. Well, actually, that's not true anymore. We've started opening up new publications that are digital only. But we're serving both the paper newspaper audience and the digital audience. And when we, and much like the New York Times or the Washington Post or any, they're delivering papers still, but their audience is much larger online, and that's the same. That's become recently the same with us. It's become recently the same for everybody. Newspaper distributions were pretty good until 10 years ago.
Is that part of the aging demographic? People that like to read the paper because they're comfortable with it. The younger generation doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, and they're not even familiar with like how you open a broadsheet newspaper. You know?
Are you?
And they think tabloid is National Enquirer. So
Wow.
Do you find that sometimes when you come up to people and try to explain what you do, that there's other people that get it right away, and there's other people that say I have no idea? Because I mentioned I mentioned someone that I do a podcast, they thought maybe I built mushroom-shaped containers, a futon. Are you talking about a futon or a cast that goes around a broken bone?
Or you cast pods.
Yeah, cast
like
pods like pea pods.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm a agricultural worker. And I said, just think of it as, I go like this. I go, radio over the internet. And that's it. And there was a show called Silicon Valley. You have to be somewhat familiar with it, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
There was one of these billionaire guys, and he goes, I brought radio to the internet, which is kind of a stupid thing. All I did is take one medium and put it on the other. But do you have a lot of stereotypes you have to probably get? When someone says IT, they already think, well, I'm not going to be able to maintain a conversation with this guy on his level.
Well, it all depends on how you present what you do. I mean, I would say, if I wanted to just give someone a really bare bones view of what I do on a daily basis, I create and maintain websites and apps. So those are, things people are pretty familiar with.
Joel, do you understand what he does?
Yeah.
Okay, can you describe what he does?
Yeah, he maintains and creates apps. You do radio over the internet.
What does Jack do?
Fuck if I know.
I thought you'd say as little as possible.
So we're all coming to the close here and stuff. But besides that, where do you live?
In New York City.
New York City?
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan?
Skyscrapers and everything.
Really? In
I live in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn?
Mm-hmm.
The hot place right now.
The new hot place,
Yeah. Oh, God. There's a pizza place right at the foot at the Brooklyn Bridge area.
I'm familiar with it.
What's the name of it? What?
Grimaldi's.
Grimaldi's. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to go there. I always miss that one.
So when you're down here, are you still working because you can do it digitally?
I sometimes do, but I'm not working this time around. I'm only down for 5 days.
How's that feel not to do anything except relax?
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah. I mean, you do the way it is these days. You get your email. You get now. There's Slack, which is fantastic. Slack.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
Slack is okay. You know what Slack is? You remember that people used to have bulletin boards and they used to do IRC, Internet Relay Chat, where they would go into different chat rooms?
Yes.
Slack is just that with a web interface. That's all Slack is. But it's made for businesses. And before we had Slack, we actually had, for our technology and product group, we used IRC, which was just chat rooms. And we would have chat rooms for every team, every product. We'd have special chat rooms that would be like only tech people so that the product people wouldn't go in there and be like, hey, what's going on with the website? What's going on? I don't get it.
Oh, is this so a whole group of people can interact at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's okay. Because I said, oh, well, it's a group chat.
It's a
Instead
group
of you're not getting all those damn things showing up
all
there.
different chat rooms for different things. So you would have places that were specified where you'd say, okay, this is where everybody talks about this topic. Or you would say, okay, this is really only for this team. We don't want other people because we're going to talk about things and we don't want to have someone read something and not understand what it is. So it can be helpful, in a corporate context.
Is there a way to keep it private without?
You can. So on Slack, for example, you can keep it private. You could just name things in a way that no one would guess what they are.
Oh, but they
back
could look.
In the day,
they could look in it.
I don't know if there was such a thing as a private invite-only channel on a standard IRC install back in the day. But in Slack, which is what people who didn't even know what IRC was are now using, there's such a thing as a private channel that's invitation only.
Oh, okay. We learned something new.
As I listen to him, I'm thinking, Arthur must be living way beneath his means because the technology that he's aware of and what he's on the cusp of and what he's developing, you think he'd have his own jet and his own entourage and everything else. And he comes down here to disappear and be with us common folk, so he can get in touch with the real world. You see,
if only, there are a lot of people who know what I know who have exactly the same lifestyle as I do. So it's wonderful to think that everybody who knows these magical things would be able to turn it into.
And that's not the goal anyway. You
buckets
can tell you have a passion for what you do when you know what you're talking about, and I think that's something that you should be proud of. A lot of people don't know how to make a living doing something they love.
I'm very happy to have found something that
yeah.
I think. So I was just sitting here and listening to this, chat rooms and this sort of thing, and I just had this image of, and you were talking about privacy, and I just had this image of Jack being in a chat room on the dark web.
Oh, the Silk Highway. That's the least of the dark web.
So would I be?
That's the most innocent of the dark web.
But Joel, would I be enlightening the dark web?
Jack could tell us a lot more.
No,
about
would I be
that.
enlightening it, or would I be just swept up in it?
Yes.
tangled up in the dark web.
Oh, so there's darker places than the Silk Road on that. I don't know. I've never been there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to see mercenaries or things like that. And I know it's not all that. There's other things that go on.
It doesn't sound good to me, and I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So I withdraw.
It's bad enough when you do a search of if you were just looking at innocent porn, right? Just innocent porn, and then all of a sudden, why does it have to be Shizer videos? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why does it have to always go to the extreme?
Things have to go to the extreme.
They have to. I mean, but entropy. If you study physics, the natural form is people go to a more lower energy state. But on the internet, a year ago, the pool noodle story.
Well,
goes to a higher.
But that's an example of his entropy. It's way deeper than that. Way deeper than that. His entropy is accelerating.
Oh,
yes. It's sad.
Dissolution.
It's sad.
The cold.
But I can't
cold, dark universe.
I can't feel. I don't understand if his entropy is going to come in a positive outcome or a negative outcome. Is he going to go to a higher level, or is he going to go, a much lower level?
Joel, you're going to hook yourself up. Are you going to upload your consciousness to the internet, or create a music app that expresses yourself that so you're everywhere at all times?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't understand? See, I love it when I can blow the mind of a psychologist or something like that.
I rest my case.
Did he explain, Arthur? Did you understand? Years ago, Joel brought about this concept. You were at that musical observatory. What's that? The Curtis. Was it Curtis? Peabody Musical Observatory. He brought his feedback idea, was taking biofeedback and running it through a music synthesizer and using it to create, to be able to relax people.
Now, not fart sounds.
Not fart sounds, none of that. None of those. Remember when it first started coming out, Celebrity, when the GPS comes out in celebrity voices and everything. There's always like a concept, and this was someone trying to do something deeper than create a multi themed fart app, with 100 different sounds. But I just thought that was amazing, and while we were talking about all the things that we do, you're down here on vacation. You come down here for a month. You come down here 5 days, and you same amount of time? 2 months. 2 months. And you're going to be going back.
Yep, Friday.
I remarked yesterday that people said it must be wonderful living down here all year round. And I think a lot of times people don't realize that you become inured or common sight, walking out and seeing a beautiful sunset or sunrise or the ocean, and you don't appreciate it as much as the person that spends a winter someplace. It's different, not worse. It's always different. And then you come down and you really fully appreciate it. I think we lose that, the people that live down here year round. Do But
I agree. Familiarity, you don't pay attention to it.
it's just like the people around you. You're not. I mean, if you're a person that likes to travel, likes new things and stuff like that, I as a bartender, latch on to when new people come in if they're interesting. Hey, Ty, here's one of the things. Hey, what? Good to see you, Ty. Yeah.
He must be a regular, huh?
He's the manager.
Well, I'm a regular too.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's manager.
We're buddies.
I didn't even know
Ty,
that.
Yeah. He's right.
But
Yeah. No, but I really that's how we met. How you and I met, and I'm sure we've met. So every so often when someone comes up to the bar, they'll say something better than "Hello, beautiful day," and then you'll go and say, "Oh, I want to talk to this person." And it's not always that. Yeah, if you notice, I don't automatically go after the young, beautiful women, even though that is.
That's part of it, right?
But I'm 55 years old. I'm not going.
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere with that. I'll talk, have a thing.
And you have a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter.
Yeah. I don't need that. But I really, this is the bonus when you say, you said earlier before we started doing a podcast, you enjoy, or you made it say, I enjoy. I love this because this is the examined life. This is it, right here.
Okay, can I ask you about an examined life?
Yeah.
I have some people that I know that are very spoiled. It's a family, and they've always had money, third-generation money.
Okay.
And when they were kids, they used to come to Florida with a nanny on the train and all this kind of crap, and they wore whites and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking one day, and he was saying about, he had somebody mow his yard and stuff, and we got to talking, and I said, well, have you ever fixed a leaky faucet? Well, no. Well, have you ever mowed a yard or started a lawnmower? No. Why should I? I can pay somebody to do that. And I said, but how can you call that? How can you call that an examined life? Because you haven't done anything. You just pay other people to do it. And you consider, when I say you, I'm just talking generically, I guess, but you consider yourselves better than the other people because you can pay people to do it. But yet they have much more life survival skills and much more integrity and much more abilities than you ever will even know exist. And you have no appreciation of that. So how could that be an examined life? And they didn't know what to say to that. That ended the conversation.
Well, it's part and parcel to that statement of not being able to experience the winter to be able to appreciate the weather down here.
But we're talking about an examined life, though.
No. I mean, just saying if you're not aware
of it,
aware of these things, if you're not aware,
to examine,
you don't have anything to relate to it, and where some people are jealous because you're living in between. You guys are definitely upper middle class, and you're on that tier. There.
I think we're middle class.
Okay. No, but it's tier.
I
have a very good life. I appreciate. I've done some very hard jobs.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything I've done.
Right.
I appreciate any opportunity I've gotten. I can honestly say right now, there's trepidation that occurs when a nightmare is being born super wealthy and not knowing the people you're talking to. Are they talking to me or caring for me because they have to, and it's in their best financial interest, or do they care about me? And when you have relatively limited means, at the most time when I had my most limited means, that's when I realized that
who was real,
yeah. And those things, and the people are your friends. I don't, when I see people walking around with their entourages and things like that, that's. Sometimes they may had hard lives before they possibly couldn't, and they could really appreciate it. But
it just makes them different, though.
Yeah,
it makes them different. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's harder to, and like we were saying earlier, it's hard if someone doesn't have. I guess we're getting far away from common, but there's this allegory about is it Plato's cave? The cave, the shadows on the wall. That's reality, and all you do is you see in life is the shadows on the wall, and you don't actually see the thing behind it.
Right.
And that's what Jack was talking about, the examined life. And everything doesn't have. There are times where you just experience being, like when the mescaline trip you're talking, or Gabby.
That beach got wiped out in the hurricane.
Yeah, it did.
2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Broke my heart. Went down there. No sand. It's all imported sand here.
Yes.
And it was all gone on the Atlantic side.
Yeah, and you know what? That's been happening. I agree. That's been happening for thousands of years. This is it's very, very likely the increase in activity is due to what's going on, what our contribution to it, whether you believe it or not. I'm sorry, facts are facts. Each year, I'm saying, listeners, if you have a problem, each year has been hotter than the last. We keep on saying
things are changing.
It's climate changing, and there is whether you can bring a little snowball into a room and say, "It's still cold outside," But
the extreme conditions that we're seeing.
Yeah. You're going to be seeing it in New York. Is the big cities are seeing it. Down here, we have ocean level rise and stuff. And there's cities islands in the Pacific. I think particularly I was listening to
Nauru. Disappear. Yeah.
Nauru. They're trying to relocate people there because it's desolate. It's desolate there because of what they did there environmentally, and also because of sea level rise. And they're evacuating whole populations from places and things like that. We're going to see. And you can focus. People always get depressed and they say, there's so many horrible things going on. But maybe our job is to cheer each other up. And that's what the Keys bartender thing is for. And now I don't know how we got to that point right there. That's kind of rather dark.
Well, you're not drinking.
Yeah.
Because you have to work today. So
I don't have to work.
Oh.
I have my daughters home, so I don't want to go.
He's a good father, Joe.
I'm going to go shopping after I leave here.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm going to give her a call, find out my 12-year-old daughter. I'm going to find out what she wants to eat tonight, and I'm going to make it so when my wife gets home, I'll have a dinner and everything ready for him. And then I'm going to do 2 episodes, and I'm going to have drinks then at 7 o'clock.
What's at 7 o'clock?
I'm doing a show.
A show.
2 more episodes.
Okay, cool.
With my co-host Jenna, which we have a rapport. And I have this idea about Kleenexes. I wanted to do word association with you. I was going to come up with a list with it. I was going to do words. Kleenex.
Like the tissues?
Yes. I had a revelation today. You want to know? Okay, I'll give it up on this one.
Go deep on us.
Come
Come
on,
on, ruin the whole
it's very
conversation.
superficial.
Your test audience.
This is going to bring the level down. But I just have a feeling there's a Kleenex with aloe for people. Their nose. If you have a sinus condition, they want to do it so your nose isn't.
I thought you were talking about clean XXX movies.
Oh no,
that would be really interesting.
That would be horrible. Well, Amish porn.
How would that work?
Amish porn.
Clean XXX doesn't work.
Or acetic to a sheet, right? To a sheet.
It's like an oxymoron.
It is.
Isn't it?
No, Kleenex. Kleenex tissues. There's a Kleenex
Okay,
tissue.
for the nose. What's the other thing you got in mind with
Hello.
Kleenex?
No. I thought the person that came up with that. The guy was watching a porn, and he had aloe-based lotion and a tissue, and he thought, I got an idea. I'll put the lotion in. And it didn't work for what he thought he was going to use it. But someone said, my nose is normally sore. This is better than that. So the guy that was, this is how low I can go. We can talk. We can be.
Okay.
This is
all
like,
the guy
this
did
is
was
like,
he put perfume in waste paper and called it Kleenex and made a fortune and put it in a box. So you could take
while
it
he
one
was
at a time.
watching Skinemax one late Saturday night.
Yeah, that's what
came up with the idea.
I don't need a whole sheet of paper. I just need a little corner. Well, let me spread it out and make it thin.
Yes,
etc. Yeah.
You're not as much fun when you're not drinking.
I am fun. Wait a second.
He is fun. You just don't get it.
No, he's talking about Kleenex and aloe.
Well,
But do you know what people use Jergens lotion with when they have a box? If you walk into a room and there's a man
this is not good.
sitting in an easy chair, and he has a box, he has on his TV tray next to him, he has a box of Kleenex and a bottle of pump Jergens lotion.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yes, what does it mean? What do you see? What
Joel,
happened?
don't ask Joel that. My God, that's a loaded question, Joel. You can't come out of this alive.
All right, now
he was jerking off.
My basic take is the conversation has gotten more interesting.
See, I think just the opposite.
Now
but no, that's
go
the thing.
ahead. I don't care. Go ahead.
It's just
you
so
have
weird.
the floor. Go ahead.
No, because it's almost like that's a great invention. Aloe, adding.
No, I didn't think it was a great. I didn't think it was a great invention. I just thought it was an opportunity. I think just like many cocktails.
No.
No,
and there was no pun intended.
In Joel's
they were
day,
accidentally made.
They had Crisco in his day. That's the way he started.
Crisco?
Crisco Disco. You ever
Oh, is
been
that
there?
it? Oh, an orgy? Is that an orgy?
On the,
Hey,
the west side,
give Arthur
Manhattan.
the mic so we can dress
No,
this
wait,
up a little
there's
bit.
one.
please.
I just no, because
God.
then the thing I'm thinking, wow, yeah, that's how things get invented, you know.
Yeah.
And
Was
then-
Crisco
and
the
then
one you used in
what
your day?
came to mind
Did you use Crisco in your day?
in my day?
Yeah. And the old white tube sock?
Oh,
Because you know they're
man.
never soft again.
You just lost all 31 of your followers right
no,
there. Yeah,
hey,
come on, man.
Hey,
No, but I was.
we're
I
all
was-
men.
So yeah, I was thinking. So like my mind jumps around, and I'm thinking inventions, and I remembered I was leaving my dentist. I was leaving the office.
Oh, you changed it. I think it's changing the subject here.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's
sure.
changing the subject.
I'm leaving my dentist's office one day, and we're just chatting. You know, we refer people to each other and all that, first name basis. And I don't know how we got onto this subject, but he was like, "Well, I can't eat chocolate. If I eat chocolate, I have to take a Prilosec." And I was like to him, I was like, "Dave, I think you just invented chocolate-covered Prilosec." So, get that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that?
Did you get it?
Yeah, but what does it have to do with global warming? I don't get it.
Yeah.
No, it has to do with.
He's changing
the
the subject. It was
So
called.
on
What's it
one
called?
hand-
Deflection. I think it's called deflection. Is that when someone changes the subject when they were uncomfortable? Because I brought up that that you may use. What would you say? Crisco?
Yeah.
Or Wesson oil? A little Wessonality. You know what I mean? Stroke
See,
of
I
good
have
luck.
no idea what. Do you get what he's talking about? I don't have the vaguest.
You don't even want to admit it? Okay.
I don't. You know.
That's funny. Here's the Catholic school boy having to educate the psychologist on masturbation techniques.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Seriously.
Oh, now I get
Oh,
it.
who's?
Yeah.
I'm supposedly
Yeah,
repressed.
now we get it.
I'm supposedly the one that's supposed to be
The
repressed.
global warming connection is still vague to me, though. Shit.
Global warming.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kinetic
You were over
energy
their head
involved.
with that.
There's a lot of kinetic energy that's released by.
It's like you get. You also get warming by friction.
Yeah.
There's that. There's that. Yeah.
We learned that in Cub Scouts with a damn stick and a piece of rawhide. And
Yeah.
What was
yeah.
your first time like?
I'm not even going to get there.
I had Farrah Fawcett. She had a famous poster in
Yeah, with the hair, yeah.
1977,
Yeah.
and her nipples
How old
popped.
were you?
14,
That's about right.
14,
You're a little
15.
late at
Really?
14, don't you
Yeah.
think?
I'm just saying that was the best material
Oh,
I
I
had.
see. Okay.
I actually, I found what I did when I found any porn I found, I treasured it like I found bits of the old Torah. I swear to God, if I found pictures, every so often I found an old book. I had, my grandmother says, he always wraps his books in, I used to wrap my book in old paper bags, the shopping bags.
Yeah.
I put in book covers because we do that in school.
Yeah.
So I did these books that I bought, like my comic books, but
Yeah.
inside the book covers
Deep
I made,
inside.
inside the cover,
Yeah.
I would put the porno pics in.
Yeah.
So
Deep
Joel
inside.
and I are about the same age, so where did you hide your Playboy magazines?
Oh shit.
Where was your stash?
Yeah, right.
Was it in a
And how
shoebox?
many did
Was
you
it a
have?
shoebox?
And
You
how
were
many different hiding
was-
places?
Was it a shoebox or in a ceiling tile?
Dig this. It was the hamper in the bathroom.
Oh, that's real
Oh, really?
clever.
Oh, you got a false bottom?
Yeah, and then my mother came in to like empty the hamper, and she's like, "What's this?" And that's mine.
There's a comedian.
You had long bathroom breaks, didn't you, when you were
Yeah.
11 years old?
Yeah. Well, before you came across that, when you were like 11 and 12,
Back
it
to
was
you,
Red
Arthur.
Red Book. It was Red Book, Cosmopolitan. Not Cosmopolitan wasn't around then as much. Maybe it was Red Book,
Yeah, it was.
Glamour,
It
Glamour
was.
magazine.
Yeah.
And you're going like, oh man, you're looking to them, and they go, my son's either gay or, which is no big deal, or he's a pervert, And I think most of the women were thinking, oh, I think he's a little effeminate. No, we're not. We're just looking. We're looking when we're pouring through the National Geographics when you're 10 years old.
Joel,
we're looking for the naked.
You started with Sears catalogs, didn't you, in the lingerie page?
No, I was into heavy tools.
And I think the more open that we
Oh,
are,
God.
yeah, heavy tools.
Delete all this broadcast, you smart people.
Yeah. What heavy tools?
Hey, let's get on to something else. Let's get on to something.
Heavy tools. I like the stuff with teeth.
Gears, like saws or gears?
Saws, yeah, chainsaws.
They didn't have
clippers,
chainsaws when we were kids. They
edge
didn't have
clippers,
those.
Forklifts.
They didn't.
You can't,
This is fabrication. They didn't have that then. You can't get a forklift in Sears. You can't.
Let me just say it this way. A sexual fantasy without a forklift is an unexamined life.
That's full circle. Let's go on from there.
Mine was always a female police officer or a teacher.
Oh.
A teacher. There was a real
Authority,
attractive. There was a really
authority
attractive
figures with power.
Mother Superior.
Yeah.
At
Oh, no.
Catholic school.
Oh, no.
She was beautiful, a really attractive nun, and she used to. And when I graduated high school, she always used to kiss me on the lips.
Wow.
She came up and kissed me on the lips, and she was a
Wow.
nice looking woman. She sunbathed
She
in
must
her
have felt
bikini.
the same way as you did.
I think she was just being warm. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
warm?
She didn't go any further.
Well, no, but that she wanted you to imagine what it would be like.
Did you go any further?
Yeah, in your mind.
Oh, no. Well, I was active at that point, so that wasn't the first thing I would go to.
So did you fantasize about this Mother Superior?
Again, I'm not Catholic, so. Have we been? Have we been through this before? So if a Mother Superior kissed me on the lips, my next move would be to dip her,
But you were smooth.
That entered your
You
mind?
were smooth. Yeah.
She's a well-built woman.
The
She was
cowl
nice.
gets in the way, though.
Yeah,
That's
she wasn't. It was one of the ones where they didn't really wear all that stuff. Actually,
She's a stripped down version.
yeah.
Okay.
That's yeah.
You
yeah,
got
if
that, huh,
you-
Joel?
it was a light. It was light when most of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
the
yeah,
half
yeah.
one on the back, and she was probably like 42 at the time. So, and
Okay, I'm going to ask Arthur something. What did you expect to gain from coming to this little adventure, and what did you expect to be?
who says he was looking for gain?
Huh? Gain. Was he expecting a growth experience? Was he expecting some kind of a nirvana type of thing that, wow, this is just awesome? Or are you totally disappointed by now?
I thought I was joining a cult, and this is not what I was expecting.
That's not what I expected.
A
either.
cult?
A cult, yeah.
Oh, it's not
Yeah.
a cult. No,
Oh,
no.
yeah,
no.
I thought we
This
were
is
gonna-
free
there's gonna be
range.
Indoctrination.
We're free
and-
range here. No.
Oh
Yeah,
no, we're going to ask you to
special
invest in
handshakes.
gold. We're talking Bitcoin. Oh no, we got a crypto. Arthur, we got a crypto. We have a cryptocurrency. And
Exactly.
It's kind of retro though.
It's
actually S&H. We're going to call it S&H green stamps since they're not around anymore. We're going to turn it into a cryptocurrency.
Oh,
where you can turn it in for.
excellent.
You can turn it into sets of glasses. Yes.
Anybody out there who has ambitions to create a cult, you probably don't want to do it in the tropics. I mean, you don't want to recruit in the tropics.
Can I tell you
Why
about
not
Jim
take
Jones?
them to the tropics.
How about Jim
and
Jones?
Then
That's where you
dose
take
them with the Kool-Aid.
George.
You don't want to. You can't recruit anything in the tropics.
Jesus did it in Israel.
Huh?
That's a semi-tropical climate if you're near the
It's
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. You
Which
could do
is-
it in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
You could do it in San Francisco.
If
That's
it's
kind of a
heat, are you talking about
Mediterranean
heat?
climate.
Yeah, I know, but if you like Muhammad did some of his best work right in the desert, like 100 degrees.
That's not true. That's
No, I'm just
the
saying-
other direction. Though.
I'm thinking just temperature. I think it's cold.
Balmy.
I think the cold you can't do it. Cold.
No, you can.
I don't think cold. I think people say, "Hey, listen, we got to go out." No, we're not going out.
Where do you think is best? Do you think it's a temperate, hardworking climate where people are grinding themselves up and
if they're
are,
going
hardworking after it? Really,
if they're hardworking, they don't have time.
What I'm saying is,
but a lot of people they want to be hardworking and then they're disappointed by the whole thing. A lot of disappointed people in a hardworking climate as well.
Well, they're disillusioned too. No, that's okay.
Well, obviously they haven't been in the Keys. There's very few hardworking people down here.
you don't.
Yeah.
What?
The basic thing is, you can't. It's hard to recruit anybody away from the tropics.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
In paradise. What are you going to offer them?
A sex cult. Drugs and sex and alcohol.
Pass.
What do you mean pass? What?
You just shut him up.
You shut him up. Yeah. Oh, you didn't like it? What would I offer him if I went to lure someone away? Yeah. What do you think?
So the cult business isn't thriving down here in
Cults
Key Largo.
work all. You know what? If there's idiots around, there's cults. I mean, if some guy told you I'm looking at my hat through my magic rocks and read these gold plates. I apologize if any Mormons are listening to this, and just say no one else is going to be able to see this, but I can see the invisible magic plates. I'm going to tell you what God's the New Testament, and it's going to be some good stuff. We're going to be introducing, pluralism, plural marriages, and stuff like that. I think you'll like that, and the supremacy of the male figure.
Do you think cults are on the rise or they're declining?
I think people have a harder time believing in those. But then again, I think they could be on the rise because isn't there a huge rise? And Arthur, you can address this, in those crazy theories, all the crazy theories on the internet. The lizard people, the alternate planet, another Earth kind of thing, revolving around the solar system.
I would say we're in a
deep state,
a hot time for cults. I think, even Al Qaeda, ISIS, you can think of those as being those kinds of extreme, immersive kind of thought patterns where you're just totally living for something that's outside of your day-to-day kind of whatever the dominant culture thinks is the
Well,
reality.
it's identity. I think they're seeking an identity and want to identify with someone, and they feel powerless. And if you feel powerless, you join a extra national group like that.
Yeah.
And just like they did, and not just obviously that's not Islamic based. They got it. Then from my ancestors in Ireland, they did it for years, doing it for a slight change in their theology. They decided that's enough. What? Yeah.
If you look at South America, you see that the evangelical Christianity is taking the place of Catholicism. Catholicism is on the wane, and evangelism is on the rise.
Well, yeah, but they're going to see through that eventually because look at the evangelicals. They talk about peace, love, and Jesus, and they're the first ones to go, build that fucking wall. Get those Mexicans out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean,
it's
like
not to say,
I don't mean to say that
evangelism
is on the rise. All evangelists are.
It seems
are
like it
cultists,
mutated,
but there is a tendency towards kind of something that really immerses you and takes you away from.
It always
just
changes
kind of
though,
day-to-day.
doesn't it? Though, because in the 80s they had something called the 70s and 80s called liberation theology in Central and South America, where the Catholic clergy in South America embraced it and said, listen, Jesus wants us to be kind to the poor and the uneducated and raise them up. And what happened is some of these groups became militant. And here they are, started in a church, supposed to be about peace and love, and then they're blowing up. They're killing people. It just always kind of morphs. Whenever the beautiful idea comes about universal brotherhood, and things like that, or sisterhood or whatever, there's always an extremist out there to be able to take that mantle and say, I can use that. It just seems like every one of them, whether it comes from...
Well, people can be exploited so easily.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Jim, or anybody here. Why is it that people that can agree on a lot of things, but yet are polar opposites in the way they view their politics, conservative versus liberal, I can disagree with you on, Ford is better than a Cadillac or vice versa. It doesn't matter. And that's no big deal. Okay, I respect the fact you'd rather have a Cadillac and I'd rather have a dressed up Ford or something. But if I'm a liberal and you're a conservative and I voice that, we can't talk anymore. We can't have a dialogue. We can't just peacefully discuss our philosophies and our differences without becoming very antagonistic towards each other. Why is that happening? We're becoming so polarized. It's just like, do you have a...
Well, my view would be if the pure definition is you're liberal, you're open to other ideas. So you have to give someone a voice to tell their ideas and listen to it. But when you argue about the facts, and where the facts come from and whether there are different types of facts. That's when it becomes really difficult because I think you're attacking someone's core belief system. And they just said, this is where I'm going to be. And they're not looking to debate. I think that's what happens where people argue. If they're actually looking for a debate. Who was it? William F. Buckley.
Buckley, yeah.
Buckley would talk. He would sit and talk to you. And he would have a legitimate, I didn't meet the man, but I watch his debate.
He had a great mind.
He had a great mind. He would. You don't think he had a great mind?
Let me say one thing about
I disagree
Buckley.
with him.
All those Buckley debates, he would go ad hominem at a drop of a hat. He accused James Baldwin of having a British accent and said that he basically said he was putting on airs in front of this huge crowd at Oxford or Cambridge, can't remember which.
Mm-hmm.
He called Gore Vidal not a feet. Something or other.
A feet
exactly.
snob?
He's going to punch him.
He
threatened to punch him, I think.
Yeah.
Which is when he lost his audience.
Yeah. Look, I respect that he was much more intellectually honest in many ways than a lot of political people.
But didn't he actually bring up? But he would bring them to him. He would have the debate with them, wouldn't he?
He was
he maybe used the wrong argument.
He was a very slick debater, and he would. Speaking of slick, I think he was trying to bring them in so that he could, kind of show them what's what. I don't think he really was seeking to learn anything or make any bridges across. He just wanted to tell people what was what.
I thought he was pure bullshit.
Really?
Pure, absolute
But
bullshit.
do you hear the debate nowadays though? When you don't even have.
I'm talking.
You're arguing. I mean, the base level is like arguing with a third grader.
I'm
when it comes
talking
to that.
like Buckley. Buckley himself. He put on airs.
Or pick someone else.
No, I don't want to pick. I want to say something about Buckley because this really. He always caught me up as being like. Vacuous. I mean, there was no. It was all up at this level. He didn't examine. He didn't go deep. Right. He was just bullshitting. He had terrible, terrible things to say, and frankly, I never got it. I never understood him. I never got his logic. I understood what he was saying, but I just never got that.
Is there anybody out there that could actually hold the mantle for that argument? It looked like Mitt Romney was going to be that one prior to being elected, but he seemed to have quieted down. He looked like he'd be a good opposition, but he even went to prior to the 45 getting inaugurated. He went there to try to get the State Department or something like that, trying to be Secretary of State. And Trump let him on.
The idea that all politics is bullshit.
Well, I mean, if you look at it that way, then it's like both houses, a pox upon both houses, and nothing can be done.
Correct.
So then you give up, right?
No, you pick.
I don't know.
You pick what you want to do is you want to vote for the candidate presidential who's going to make you feel the most relaxed. Like, I'll leave the job to him. I have enough confidence. I'll leave the job to him, and I don't have to keep track of him on CNN day and night.
No, we had the coolest guy who was president so far. I mean, probably up there, probably with Lincoln, just recently. The last guy. He was cool.
Barrio.
Yep. Right?
Well,
Wasn't
no.
You don't think he was cool?
Yeah, he was cool, but he wasn't anywhere like Lincoln.
Oh, no, but Lincoln had his own style. Look at the guy. He had style.
The thing is, you had confidence in him.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to keep your eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did he do everything he could have done? Could he have been a little more active, especially in the first 2 years when he had Congress?
I know right now my
Could have
friends
been a
in Philadelphia
revolution.
are going to be like
But he
clicking
wasn't
off
like
right
that.
now.
He wasn't going to do that.
He's a pacifist.
Yeah.
But he's a gentleman and a scholar. Very, very bright guy.
Yeah.
And you felt comfortable with him.
Yep.
Like it's not too much is going to go wrong here. And then after I had that thought, the first time, then I'm reading something where that was his goal, to keep everything on a level plane.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Which was quite a good trick, because nothing ever stays static.
on a lighter
There's
note,
always
you're going to
movement.
have it's a serious note, but it's a lighter note. They're having they're having a meeting in Hanoi the next couple of days between Kim Jong-un and Trump, and I was watching CNN, and this is funny, but I have to say sobering, that Kim Jong-un's coming off his train, out of his train, or whatever he's coming off, and he's coming down a ramp slowly, and you see the officials, the North Korean officials lining up behind him, and there's, I guess they're Vietnamese officials that are welcoming him, and there's a guy, Kim Jong-un got right to the bottom of the ramp, and there's a guy running, as if he was going to be shot. His arm's not moving to get up right next to him. And I realized that must have been the interpreter. And you could just see Kim Jong-un looking over like this, like, you better get the fuck over here. And this is the guy that, he disciplines, how he disciplines people with anti-aircraft guns and poison, whatever, flamethrowers, or a hand grenade up the ass, or whatever. Sure. So he's like Caligula. He's Caligula. He's I'm sure he's like that. A Caligula, if Caligula drank bourbon and ate a lot of cheese, because he eats cheese. He eats a lot of cheese.
He's
a lot of cheese. Just like Trump thinks McDonald's is fine cuisine.
With everything on it, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine cuisine. Yeah. Kim Jong-un loves his fucking cheese. I'll tell you that. And I just imagine working for somebody, and a lighter night, working for someone. It's like the devil wears Prada. You turn around.
Imagine working for someone who liked cheese that much.
Well, they gotta. You were talking about that thing. You gotta.
Is that a flag for you?
There's another invention.
Is that a flag?
That's another.
That's a flag.
Oh, you like cheese? Do you like cheese?
No.
I love cheese.
Oh no, but I mean, you imagine you get really constipated if you're eating cheese all the time, right?
Something like that.
You can make some like a Modium cheese.
Well,
there's another great idea. You like it? Move it. I know. See? Oh, I had to bring it down. We were getting too serious.
No, that's okay.
We're getting too
cheese thing.
We're just getting real serious right there, and I said, you know what? I'm going to have to go and steer it to the lower ground.
We're allowed to be a little serious. Yeah.
We did serious for a while. We're actually almost an hour.
An
hour.
How long
and before I could even, I have to talk to the point of this before we sign off. We have plenty of time. I want to remember to say something though.
No, but
that we're going to
Modium Cheese.
iTunes reviews.
Modium Cheese.
This podcast is brought to you by Modium
Cheese. Modium Cheese. Do you find yourself loving cheese, eating cheese for your diet, too, and then you have a problem? You have a problem passing that? Try Modium Cheese.
This show could be like the Fox and Friends for Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Just like, wow, they're talking right to me.
Yeah.
Just like they invented stuff out of cheese for me. Like,
yeah, you're going to need some Modium cheese. Well, he looks bloated. He looks very bloated. I bet people are telling him. He says, "You look." I bet he doesn't have any mirrors or anything, and there's no mirrors except right around his. They hold it right up to his face, and they probably skinny mirrors. He has tons of skinny mirror, and everyone says, "You are cut. You are so buff."
Okay, if you had a haircut like that, would you look in the mirror?
They're telling him he's the greatest haircut in the world.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he's a pinnacle. He's every woman that comes up to him tells him how handsome he is.
Of course.
And yes, there's no. And after you've seen someone hit with a flamethrower or you're going to say a lot of things.
So what do you think happened to the late interpreter? Is he the late interpreter?
He's probably sitting there shitting himself.
No, he's not sitting anywhere. He's gone.
Yeah. No, he came. I'm thinking he was interpreter because he came running so hard. Yeah. And CNN, no one commented on CNN. I played it back. I go, that guy really running like that there?
Yeah.
And I rewound it and looked again. He's running down it, and he's doing a weird run where he's not moving his arms. Because if he's moving his arms,
he's not pumping it. Yeah.
And he's like
being aggressive because you're running up like real.
No,
How do you ever seen a robot run? That's the way they run.
No, and it's
their arms are stiff and their legs are stiff. It was a goose step without moving the arms.
Yeah, it was the arm straight down.
Yeah, there's a bow part of that run.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of bowing.
Speaking of, you know what? And if you do have to run like that, maybe because you ate too much Modium cheese and you run into the bathroom.
Listen, I have a question about. Isn't Imodium to like anti-diarrhea?
Okay, then how about X-Lax cheese?
Yeah.
There you go.
Because if you did Imodium cheese.
How about Modium? How about just Modium?
You would never take
Imodium
shit.
and Modium. Yeah, Modium. Modium cheese.
Yeah, motion Modium.
Yeah, motion Modium cheese.
Yeah.
Just, and we just have a picture of a goose. Because you like shit through a goose? You ever heard that? Are you born? You are from another planet, aren't you? Because I say things and you go, the AC cable thing instead of extension cord.
Nobody got it, Jim.
You don't remember that? He told me to make sure I bring an AC cable here. And I said instead of a direct current DC cable, which I suggested it might be from the past, like he could be Tesla. And he says, but Tesla did the AC thing, so he said, make sure the AC cord, it's settled already. Listen, Tesla, we're going with AC. Don't worry. Yeah. So, but what I'd like to mention while we're still on it, we do need those iTunes reviews if anybody's still listening. And luckily, most of the people probably didn't flip off probably have Apple.
Yeah.
I think Android is more. I'm an Android guy. I think Android is more conservative.
Yeah.
If Seinfeld started like this, would he have had a career at all?
No, he wouldn't have been.
I don't think
He'd
so.
Still
never heard of him. He'd still be in a comedy club somewhere with 5 people in the audience.
Hey, you know what? I do not. I do not envision myself, and that wouldn't be a dream of mine.
No higher.
I do not. I wanted someday enough people, and I told you my theory behind this. If I was a musician and I had to perform, I'd have to entertain most of the people in the room and keep them happy.
Yeah.
But now, because we're on a podcast, I only have to, if I can get 0.1% of podcast listening audience, that's 1 out of 1,000, right? 1 of 1,000 that say, I can tolerate this person and I find them humorous sometimes. 1 out of 1,000. And the other 998 don't have to. But if I do, I get paid. And enough that. And I don't think if I'm walking down the street and it's 1 out of 1,000 people, I go through New York City and stuff like that.
You're going to have to start.
That's only 10,000 people. And they're.
These last 2 podcasts, you're going to have to start over again from ground zero because we just destroyed everything.
It's the journey. It's a journey, okay, not the destination.
I'm glad you recognize that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember,
you're not results oriented. That's good.
Yes.
People will just be like, "What happened to podcast 152?"
Yeah.
And you'll
it
be
disappeared.
I don't know.
It disappeared.
Oh well, last week when we did this, I got home and I didn't have my glasses.
He deleted the damn
I didn't pull the
thing.
glasses. I accidentally deleted it, and then I contacted the company to host my podcast. And they kindly, since it was done, luckily we did it live and it did exist, they were able to pull it back out of.
Wow.
Yes, they did. And
amazing.
I thank them. Thank you, Spreaker. Yeah. I think the woman's
Spreaker.
name, she probably doesn't. They're not, no way. They must have a bunch of jerk-offs doing podcasts. Not they are jerk-offs. I meant the people doing podcasts like me. They don't listen to all of them. They did a very good job there. Pulling that out, and I thank them because that was interesting. And we got the noodle story. We heard about Joel's noodle. Jack exposed Joel's noodle to our podcast audience. Yeah.
Wow,
it's swim noodle.
First
it's swim noodle.
Naked noodle on podcast.
Yeah,
ever?
Yeah. His discolored noodle.
It actually went there.
His misshapen, discolored
pool noodle.
Pool noodle.
Wow.
With it, where indentions where it's gripped too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They objected when I started adding soy sauce to it. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Soy.
But I wanted, Arthur, I wanted to ask you, is nothing's ever really deleted, is it?
You
have
can
to
delete
jump through,
things.
hoops to
I've
delete
lost
something.
things that I could not retrieve. I had some stuff deleted from
They
Dropbox.
still exist
Sorry,
somewhere.
Dropbox.
I
hope
had-
you're not a sponsor of this show. Oh yeah, it's a Modium Cheese. It's a sponsor of this show.
Modium Cheese. Brought to you by Kraft. Brought to you by Kraft. And Robert Kraft, if you're listening, if you'd like to invest in it, we know you try to make questionable.
Don't jerk
questionable.
this guy
Yeah, don't
around.
jerk this guy around. Robert Kraft, you have made questionable business decisions in South Florida.
That's the
Make
rub,
another
isn't
one
it?
down
Hey,
here.
I just came up with
Yeah,
a brand name.
Yeah, what?
For Modium Cheese. Clog.
This
Modium
podcast
Cheese
brought to
stops
you
you.
by-
Modium Cheese promotes it. So, so
No, Clog.
okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it with the Modium Cheese.
Oh,
I think.
don't? Is that it?
No.
You can be quiet and let somebody else talk for a change.
Oh, we're guys going to be leaving. We can start saying our goodbyes to each other.
Oh,
long goodbyes. Yeah.
Time to say.
terrible at that.
Yeah.
I like long goodbyes. Let's do that. Like start now. Maybe.
Well, I'm not leaving.
Sign us off. Here. Again, he's starting to do the dishes.
Is that what happened? Is that, Jack,
And then
you
one
can tell.
starts in the kitchen and starts doing the dishes. Time to go home.
Oh, is that me? Oh, I'm starting the dishes.
Pardon me?
I'm starting the dishes, or was Joel?
That's
I thought
what-
that had a vacant look that Joel gets in his face. He's like, "That's a man lost," like he was in the.
He
corner
doesn't
of
know
the
what
pool.
that means to start doing the dishes. He doesn't know that. He's got a Jewish mother for a wife.
Does
right?
Gabby?
That's true.
I know it is.
It's incongruous. That's like
No, I think.
Oh, okay, I understand. No, I understand what you just said.
no, I mean what he said.
I said you have a Jewish mother for a wife. And what? And you're a child.
Oh, you don't
You
do
don't know
dishes?
what you don't do dishes. You don't even know what it means to do dishes. You dirty dishes.
His domestic, his
Oh.
Give me a fair chance.
All right.
Huh?
no, but
What?
you,
Yeah,
so
I have a-
you'll
I
be
have-
heading back.
I had a Jewish mother
Joe,
and a
you-
wife.
You still do.
Here's my
You
best.
said past tense.
Want to hear my best Jewish mother
What?
story?
Maybe.
Okay. So I'm visiting my parents in Brooklyn after a meal, big family meal, helping her do the dishes, and I forget what the context was, but I was like, "Mom, I'm 50 years old. When are you going to stop nagging me?" It's a reasonable question.
That's a good question.
Okay. And her response was, "My mother died 10 years ago. She's still nagging me."
That's a good one. Okay, wait. You're going back. You're in Barcelona?
No,
Are you
no.
going back to Barcelona or what?
No, we're near Malaga, southern coast.
Okay, okay, and you're going back. Are you going back there?
Not straight.
Where are you going to go up to?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah. Baltimore, Washington, then up to New York.
And then when you're heading back to
Gabby's going to see her mother in Manhattan, her 96-year-old mother in Manhattan. And I'm staying in Chinatown in Brooklyn.
oh, okay.
Talking about noodles. Hey,
You need some dim sum. Some dim
Dim sum.
He
sum.
never can get enough, can he?
Can't have.
noodles
No.
and
You
dumplings.
can't get enough of those dim sum or D's nuts.
What?
I just slipped my nuts in there. D's nuts. That was a joke. D's nuts. I said D's nuts. No.
I don't know.
So can you give a shout out to one of your favorite restaurants in
East
Sunset
Harbor
Park?
Seafood.
East Harbor,
East Harbor Seafood in
Sunset
Baltimore.
Park, New York?
Oh, New York.
Sunset Park, Brooklyn.
In Sunset Park, yeah. Yeah, great dim sum dishes, aside from dim sum.
Oh, okay.
So my strategy, we'll see if I can do this, is going to be to delay gratification. All right. So
Oh,
I'm
after
not
that
gonna go
Kleenex, you didn't get that Kleenex Weston,
I don't think he
Weston
can
oil
do it.
thing. Now you're
I
saying
don't think he
delayed.
can
round.
do it.
I'm gonna try and hold off and lead up to that. I'm not going there first.
You're not going for the money shot.
I know. I'd
No?
say it's
Joe,
50-50.
remember the last podcast, Joe?
No.
The guy that was going to the porn shop and he couldn't wait.
Oh yeah, he's walking down the street. You heard about that guy? Oh, last Monday, not this past Monday. A guy got arrested for public indecency because a driver saw him expose himself, and it turns out he was masturbating on the bike path on the way to Lover's Boutique down here. He was going to buy, and he said he was going to buy a porn video or DVD, which is a very old thing since it's free on the thing, free on the internet. And they said, "Why were you doing it?" He said, "Because I was impatient.
Couldn't wait."
Now there is an ambitious person down here. Who says people don't have gumption? That guy has gumption. Okay.
Would that be
Crying.
that
I
be
don't know
the
what to say
unexamined
about
life? Or
That's an examined life. He examined. You have to, when you're walking and doing that at the same time, you got to concentrate. Yeah, but I know, but that
would take a bit of skill.
Yes. Admit it. We're not even have to break that down. If I was an analyst, like a sports analyst, and look at it and say, "Oh, you can see he's walking and stuff like that, and he's looking. He is holding firmly. He's using a loose grasp and over the thumb wrap.
Shouldn't there be a medal for that?
The Westonality, the Western grip.
There should be some kind of an award.
He's got his footwork was excellent. He's like he really set himself up.
Arthur, I think he's going for the more difficult two-handed grip. Oh wait, it's two fingers on each hand. My mistake. I thought that we're going to see something really impressive there, but we didn't.
A little early on his timing.
Yeah. You don't want to see the guy. Imagine if he fell down flat on his face. He could have definitely broken a broken vessel there. Yeah, right. Okay, Arthur.
Did they say his name? That guy's name? They didn't.
Yes.
Oh, are you kidding?
Oh,
me?
it's a Amato Gare. Amato A-M-A. I remember his name. You know why? Because I worked that night, Monday night, and I didn't drive past that. But there was a guy that works for us named Armando.
Oh, close.
Armando.
Yeah.
And there was two letters missing. It was the R and the N. And I'm looking, oh, my God, I see his name pop up there. And I go, holy shit, this guy is kind of horny, but he's 50 years old. I don't think he's going to be able to pull that off, no pun intended, walking down and jerking off at the same time. This guy has a hard time doing it.
Yeah,
probably
pull that off with a hard time.
Yeah,
right?
hard time.
You're not too subtle, are you?
I didn't mean to do that. Yes.
Can I give you a hand, old guy?
That's creepy. Thank you, Joel.
Now, Joel, you don't know when to back off, Joel. You just don't.
That's good. Okay, Arthur, you're leaving here
tomorrow.
Yesterday, if
and you're flying into
to LaGuardia.
Yep. Ubering it.
I'm not a big Uber fan actually. I prefer Lyft or the smaller.
Yeah.
company.
You don't like their business model?
I don't. Well, Uber used to be a very ugly company. We all know they used to have some very bad, culture up at the top, and they've always been extremely aggressive. I would say all the rideshare companies are pretty aggressive when it comes to municipal politics. They really like to throw their weight around, act first. They'd rather ask for forgiveness than for permission. And in New York, you see that they've managed to clog the streets with too many, private cars, and the city's trying to,
Well, that is kind of bullshit that you got to pay $1 million for a medallion. For a taxi, and then someone can just come in as a ride share around the work around. I mean, it's a utility. It's actually ran like a utility, right? In New York, it used to be.
It's always been a weirdo market, though. This was back in the day. This was the best investment ever. You buy a medallion and you're printing money.
Yeah.
You had to know somebody to, I don't know. It's like it was always a weird market for those things, and I think it's sad that some of the a lot of people have got caught holding the bag effectively.
Yes.
On that weird market, but it didn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the way it is now, where those medallions are becoming almost worthless, and the city's streets are just clogged with radio cars.
Yeah, radio cars and fucking cash cab. That's it in New York, right?
Well,
cash cab. Get cash cab. Cash cab.
Cash cab, like dollar cab.
No, cash cab was that. Yeah, there's a show where a guy picks you up and he asks you a bunch of questions. And if you get this money, and if you don't get the questions right, you get 3 strikes. He kicks your ass out wherever you are. So you better be careful you're not going through a bad neighborhood because they kick you right out. Oh, it's great. The concept is wonderful. That's why I was saying Cash Cab is one. He's a follower of mine, the Keys bartender. He's a stand-up comedian. Ben, you know what? I'll give a shout-out to that guy. He's a follower. Hey, don't lift my stuff. If you do lift my stuff, Ben, make sure that you give me a little credit. Yeah, mention it. Mention at least in one of your stand-up acts. Okay, you were talking about Uber and all that. Yeah, there was sexual harassment. The idea that...
But even Lyft, I mean, Lyft has been so much better in terms of their corporate culture and everything, but still the whole basis of the thing is basically defeating all of the municipal kind of protections against corporations going in and kind of taking over... like capturing the whole regulatory facility.
You know, the largest, one of the largest investors in self-driving technology is
Kim Jong-un.
Uber. Oh. Kim Jong-un. No, that's cheese-making technology.
Sorry.
Cheese-making technology and cheese laxative technology. They're leading in, but Uber is using a lot of their profits. It's funny. You have all these people you're saying you're giving opportunities to make more money. But by the way, and all this revenue you're generating for us, we're going to turn a lot of it back into trying to get self-driving cars. So Johnny Cabs, that was in a movie called Total Recall in the 80s with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's great.
And then turn around. That's and there's, I think, in one of the northwestern cities, there's self-driving buses, mini buses now, showing up.
You know where they're actually in Florida, they're now testing self-driving technology in the largest retirement community.
Villages.
Villages.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know what they should be testing? STD prevention up there because they got gonorrhea, chlamydia. Wow. Oh my God, herpes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because they
have
didn't use condoms for the longest time. They were married, and they come up there and they say, "Well, we can't get pregnant." Well, you can get an STD.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes for your fucking wisdom with age, right?
This show brought to you by the Villages.
Trojan. Trojan. When you're fucking around with a septuagenarian, make sure you bring your Trojan brand condoms with you
in the back of a self-driving vehicle.
And your
perfect. By the way,
Crisco, and make sure you need you do have some lotion, have some lubricant because it gets awfully dry up there sometimes.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I'm winking. I'm winking right there.
Image.
I bring it down. I can bring it right down to the sewer, Arthur. I can.
Yeah, we can tell. I'm looking at palm trees, beautiful bay grapes.
Well, that's right. See, it brings it. We get in order to maintain the audience, so we could talk about aberrations in political thought and cult and things like that. Every so often, we mention some like you'll talk about someone making an unusually large purchase of Analese, which is a lubricant for people that want to have.
Oh, like terrorists.
Yes, terrorists, ISIS members. Okay, Jack, you're leaving here. Where are you going?
As far away as I can get from here.
You're going to.
I'm going to Vermont.
Vermont?
Yes.
Are you going to go to Deadwood this?
No,
year?
I've done Deadwood so many times. I love Deadwood.
Yeah,
it's a cool town or village, what do you want to call it? It's a small town.
You know what's funny? Since when you mentioned that,
pardon me,
they're just bringing back a new episode of that.
Oh yeah, didn't they make a movie on Deadwood?
Well, they had a series.
I know that on TV.
Yeah, and they're bringing back a new season, and it's been like 8 years or something like that, 9 years, and they're bringing back they just showed it. I was watching Brexit, the movie Brexit, and I seen this advertisement and said, "Oh my God!"
See, I thought they made an actual movie on it too.
I think they were planning on doing that, but they decided we'll just go and make another season.
The only request I would make is that they just eliminate all the FUCK words. It wasn't necessary.
Do you know they did
every other sentence? It was that.
Do you realize that most of that was written in iambic pentameter?
Really? There's a rhythm to it.
Yeah, there's a rhythm, and you notice that was weird rhythm to it. And once I realized that, the gratuitous cursing, fuck, shit, cunt, balls, dick, this, that, wasn't as bad. Once I realized they were doing it all, whenever the the innkeeper is talking, or Calamity Jane. You listen to them, or the guy, the real bad guy who was the saloon owner and
I can't remember his character.
It
wasn't Seth Bullock.
Sliden?
No, I know he had a house of ill repute there.
Yeah,
and he's a great actor. That guy.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
And
This mic doesn't seem to be working.
okay,
Yeah.
I think you got the grasp of it. So you're going to be going up to Connecticut. What are you going to do?
I'm going to Vermont.
Vermont.
Yeah.
Connecticut. Where did you get fucking Connecticut from? This?
I don't know.
So Vermont. Where you
there
going,
are other
Bennington?
states besides Connecticut, New York, and New England.
I know. I love Vermont. I used to go to. I went a couple times to Stowe. I love Stowe.
Beautiful.
I stayed at the Von Trapp.
Von Trapp Family Lodge.
Yeah.
They get condos and condominiums.
I love the jitney service they have. In you could just get on. You go and ski all day. And you just get on the jitney service and go to the different bars.
The thing about Vermont, it's full of a lot of small villages, you might say, and everybody gives a shit about everybody else. And they're self-starters. They're hardworking.
So they're all like
they're honest, and their politics is liberal, obviously, with Bernie Sanders and with
what's weird? New Hampshire's not
Leahy, Patrick
is
Leahy.
not exactly like that too. Why?
No, New Hampshire is not. The river divides their minds too. It's amazing.
Yeah,
they're totally opposite.
Yeah, you think it because it's kind of an outlier there.
Yeah, but Vermont or New Hampshire's a great state too, but they think differently politically.
Yeah.
They're very conservative. Yeah, but they're good people too.
Yeah,
they just think differently.
Yes,
not wrong, just different.
What's going to be? I hope you have a lovely trip up there, and you're going to stay up there the rest of the year, or you move around.
No, we're going to go to Norway and see my son in June. Yeah, they just had a new baby.
Okay.
So he's an expat.
Where is he? I have a friend in Sweden.
Skull. He's in Skull. It's up by Trondheim. Yeah.
A friend who married a Swedish woman, and he's a teacher over there now.
Yeah.
And he's a Swede for all intents and purposes. Yeah. How about your son? Does he consider himself an expat, or is he a transplant?
He's not. Well, probably. I don't know if he would. Well, maybe he's considered, but he's got a beautiful wife, Boodle, and they got a new daughter.
That's wonderful.
And they have a farm, and it's cool. He's got his PhD, and he's working on a farm.
What does it? What?
He was in alternative energy sources, like wind energy and geothermal and solar, things like that.
Do they utilize that on the farm?
No, but they probably will incorporate that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're raising barley for malt. Norway wants their own brand of Norwegian beer, so they are making. Let's put it this way: they're raising malt to be sold to the city or the country of Norway, so they can make their own branded beer that's all made in Norway.
Oh, with
which
all
is
Norwegian,
everything Norwegian,
material, or whatever you call it.
But they're great people up there. I mean, they're like America was in the 50s. I mean,
innovative.
Pardon?
Innovative.
Well, it's like they honor reputation and they honor integrity and character. If you shake somebody's hand and you have a deal, you got a deal. If the guy reneges on the deal, everybody knows about it and you're shunned, literally shunned. Nobody have anything to do with you. So everybody there is still got the right value system, very family oriented.
I know they're very progressive over there.
Yeah.
And,
it's a great country.
Beautiful people.
Everything about Norway is beautiful. Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
And how long are you going to be over there?
3 weeks only.
3
this
weeks?
Time. Last time we were there a month. A couple of years that we went. Yeah.
And you're going to be spending the rest once you get around to back in Malaga.
Malaga. We're actually in a smaller burg, like just 20 minutes west of Malaga, called Benalmádena.
Yeah.
Which in Arabic means don't drop your garbage here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay.
I think it'd be appropriately named like that. Hey, how's Spain? Are they getting their act together financially?
They were on good track. We didn't have enough time, but for the first time since Franco, in my area of Malaga, which is Andalusia, they elected a far-right party.
Oh.
And so that's going to change the nature.
You ever see the movie Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was about the end of the closing days of the Spanish Civil War, and the little brutal, beautiful movie though.
Yeah.
That was the famous director.
Was that Almodovar?
What?
Almodovar?
Yes. Oh. No. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. The guy. I think he won for The Shape of Water.
Oh no, that's Del Toro.
Yeah, I think it was him.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Del Toro.
He's Mexican.
Yeah, but I mean, he can make a Spanish movie because
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
so.
there's not like most of his movies aren't made in Mexico anymore.
Or it could be more direct and make a Mexican movie. Since
I mean, maybe
Mexican,
I know, but I think it's easier to make it in a country where, like Spain, when it comes with it.
No, he made it in
I mean, he's very visual.
Mexico.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's going to be hot as hell, won't it? Is it going to be this summer? Are you in Andalusia? So that's.
Yeah, that's southern province.
Yeah, it's higher elevation, right?
What happens? Directly off the beach, you start going up, and then you drive up like an hour north through the mountains, and you hit the high plateau. And the high plateau goes hundreds of miles north, all the way up to.
Is that where the rain
Madrid
falls mainly?
You could say that.
Okay.
It's also a great place to get a dog.
No one got that one?
Yeah.
Oh, else.
Yeah. Yeah. Laws of supply and demand.
Yes. Well, this is the longest episode I've done yet.
Okay. What have we?
An hour and 25 minutes.
Oh, my.
Once again, I'd like to thank Joel, Arthur, Jack. And if you are still listening, if you're not dying of starvation or cheese impaction to your rectal region, please leave a review for us on iTunes. And we can expose ourselves to.
Jesus God.
No, I wanted to thank.
You have real cheese problem. I just want Jong-un, if you're out there,
Kim Jong-un,
Chairman Kim. If you're, it's okay if you have cheese impaction, you can still leave a message on the.
Yes, you can. That's right. Yeah. You're right.
It's okay.
Yeah, and
for him, I could see the Modium cheese.
Modium cheese.
Yeah, Modium cheese.
Yeah,
I could see that really giving him a little more.
He looks relaxed. He looks relaxed right now, except for his interpreter, his translator, interpreter.
He might even forgive that.
Yeah, he may even forgive me. He may be more relaxed. He goes, I will not blow you up today with an artillery shell.
All right, I wanted to thank Arthur for coming. It's a real good addition, real good contribution. I sputtered right away in the pool, so cool. We're all cool.
So you knew his potential would come through, didn't you? He would shine.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sure bet.
So you didn't really need this prop, did you, from Brooklyn? You didn't need this.
I need all the help I can get. Now you know that.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
anyway.
I'm wishing you guys a good spring and summer, and I look forward to seeing you in the...
Yeah,
and
we might be back next year, so if you're still there, you know where we're going to be.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll reach out to you because we can do. I have Skype. I can
January.
Contact you.
Yeah. Very cool. We can do that.
Yep. And call you up and have you on the show.
Yeah.
Through here, I can just put your feed through.
Really?
Yes.
We could Skype in.
Yes, one at a time though. I haven't figured out how to do multiple yet.
Yeah.
Because instead of setting up remote studio, but this way, all you have to have is Skype. When you come up, it comes to through our system, and it goes out through the air to all our folks, and even into Germany, Athlon, Ireland. There was a lot of people listening there. Yeah. We don't have a big. We started getting New York, Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia. We'd like to thank also. Gainesville, Florida. I guess if there's some girls up there, or some of the girls listen to that's kind of sexy. Some college girls.
You probably drove them off.
No, they're still listening. I didn't think I don't think I'm too pervy about
today.
that. The guy walking down the street masturbating, that's all in the book.
Listening.
Yeah, we got a gunch. Well, oh wait, I just want to tell you, there's a nickname for him, and one is it's a great nickname, and it's Wankadoodle Dandy.
And on that note,
yes,
Yeah,
is the
that's
Keys
enough of
bartender
this.
signing off.
All right.
Thank you. Let me put the music on now.
Yeah, please. I was afraid we were going to have a new Coke. Remember that? They had a good Coke, nice flavor, then they introduced a new recipe.
Capital One knows life doesn't alert you about your credit card.
Pitch hitting, the catcher, number 2. Also, Karen in row J eating the hot dog. Did you mean to tip 167% yesterday at Le Cafe restaurant? Just checking.
So, meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong, like over-tipping, then sends an alert to your phone and helps you fix it. Eno, another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. Capital One, what's in your wallet? See CapitalOne.com for details. Limitations apply.
Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
Phone $15 a month after $22.50 a month. Credit apply within 2 bills. If canceled earlier, remain a balance due. Unlimited basic after 6/30/20. Pay $32 per month per line for 5 lines with auto pay. Data deprioritization during congestion. Speed maximums. Use rules and restrictions apply.